Yeah, the band. The rumour that like you were telling lots of people that you were in a band, and then all of a sudden the Parkinson's gave you a gig, and so you're like, right,
You're
got to
close. You're virtually bang on the money there. What it was, Dom was a bit silly, okay? I'd split up with my wife. I used to go out with an Israeli girl, very pretty. When we split up, I spent about, like you do, you know when you break up from someone, you sort of go out and try and find yourself. Okay?
Yeah, like go on massive independent.
Yeah, I really went on an independent streak. I went out to a lot of clubs. I went to the Way Out Club, which is a transvestite club, which is very liberating, very experimental.
Where is that?
It's in Tower Hill, very close. It's in Tower Hill. I can't remember the name of the street. Tower Hill, you'll find it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Went to the Dirty Water Club, Club for Losers, the Last Robbers Club, and I couldn't handle anybody that I was working with. I was working in an office job and I hated it. I was living in a flat on my own and I needed to get out all the time. So I started going clubbing like anything.
Well,
And then, yeah, generally, because I had no one else to go out with. Then generally I started making friends, because I'm quite a talkative young chap. And what had happened is, as I was making lots of friends, people would ask me, what do you do in life? I was like, I'm in a rock and roll band.
Yeah, definitely don't say
I didn't want to say it, exactly. You don't want to say you're in a rock and roll club or a tranny club. You don't want to tell people you work in an office. You want to tell them you're in a rock and roll band. And I got away with that for about 6 months, if I'm lucky. And then the questions started getting a bit deeper and a bit stronger. So, when does your band actually play? What's the name of your band? Who's in your band? When was the last time we saw you at a club night with your band? You know, all these questions going through, and I'd be batting them off the best I could, just trying my hardest to get away from the question at all. And then one day, Max is a portly guy. He looks a bit like Kojak, a big fat guy. We were in his club, and it was, this is a Club for Losers, and the Parkinsons were there, and they were my friends, my drinking buddies, a Portuguese punk band.
I've seen it.
Very little band. And Victor from the Parkinsons stood up in front of the whole club and goes, Dominic, what's the name of your fucking band? And I was like, yeah, we're the Others. That's how we got our name. And he called over Max, and Max goes, Dominic, so you're called the Others, are you? Brilliant, okay, we'll put you on in 2 weeks' time. You want to do that, don't you? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. Yeah, definitely, really want to do that, of course. And that was it. I sat down, and I went really white. And I nearly threw up, I felt so scared. And then I left the club immediately. And when I walked down Canton High Street, my knees were going really shaky. I didn't really know what to do, really. But I knew I wanted to play the gig. So I phoned Jimmy, who was the guitarist in my first band, explained the situation. Jimmy agreed to be the guitarist. He said, we need a bass player and a drummer too. Could he help out with that? So we got hold of Johnny, our present bass player. We didn't have a drummer, so we got hold of this session drummer called Ollie. He was a jazz musician, but he could play drums so well that he held our first gig together virtually single-handedly with his cunning drumming. Yeah, do you know what I mean? A jazz drummer can hold any bunch of shit together. And believe me, our first gig was the best. And literally we did 6 songs and 3 rehearsal sessions, of which one of them was on the almanac, bless. And then we did the gig, and I stood up on stage and everybody sort of clapped and laughed at the same time because they couldn't believe I was actually here on stage with my band after bullshitting my way through for 6 months. we did the gig, and then after the gig, by luck of the big man in the sky, bless him, yeah, some luck involved. The guy who signed Franz Ferdinand, who was a guy called Fern, came over, shook my hand and said, "When's your next concert?" And I said, "We're playing in about a week's time." And started lying once again. And that was it. In a week's time we had the next gig secured. We took it and that was nearly 3 years ago.
Wow. So you've come a really long way.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. But always knew we could do it.
Yeah.
Always knew that we could get here, but we had a lot of rejections. We had a lot of trouble getting signed initially, because when you manage yourself, it's quite hard. You see, record companies expect a good manager and an established company behind you and backing. We had nothing. It was us against the world. So it took a while to convince people that we were the right cup of tea. In the end, when it all came to push comes to shove, we had support for a band called Baby Shambles.
It's quite a good one to get, first one.
Not first off.
Well, from after your... Was that after?
No, this was about 2 years after. Maybe a year and a half after. I'm just cutting that year and a half out because there's so much to tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
But when it comes to push come to shove, I got signed. So about a year and a half had gone by. And that time the Parkinsons had split up. We weren't the Parkinsons support band anymore. And then we became the Libertines support band. We supported the Libertines for a while. And then Libertines broke up. And we decided that we were going to support Baby Shambles because of my loyalty to Peter. And then we supported Baby Shambles, and Peter needed a management deal. And I'd given my CD to a girl called Emily Mann, and she gave that CD to Alan McGee. And then what happened was is that Alan McGee decided to kill two birds with one stone. He went to watch Baby Shambles and to watch us played, and at the end of the night he signed my band for a single deal, and he signed Pete Doherty for a management deal. We all lived happily ever after.